organization in Abuja. He was a member of the acquisition team in the same company where God helped him to see to the best and pre-delivery of about 6 estates in his time. This is correct. He was the general accountant of the same organization. He's a managing member of the Institute of Nigerian Economics of Nigeria. People join together. Part of the training and workshops attended internationally include National Business Conference in Orlando. People join together. In Orlando, Florida. Training in Maryland and USA. Visited World Conference, Dubai, and many others. Adeniyi is an entrepreneur and a businessman with major interest in real estate and construction. A one-time seven CEO of Grace View Homes Limited. Subsidiary of Professional Real Estate Investment Limited. The currently working as the managing director of New Investment Limited. People work together and we work for. People work together. People work together. And we work for. Mr. Adeniyi.
Standing on the existing protocol, I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you, man. Organizers of this event, thank you so much. Our honorable head of department, I appreciate you, sir. All of the great lecturers in this noble department, I appreciate you. My senior in the industry, the first speaker, I appreciate you, sir. God bless you. I was blessed by your delivery, and I have some take home, so God bless you. All right. To every new student, ND1, HND1, thank you for having me. I especially want to thank you, all the organizers of the event, for the opportunity to be here also. Thank you and God bless you. All right. We are here to induct and to probably give some information to some of the new students that are coming to this great department, whether ND1 or HND1. I'd like you to know that this is a platform that God has given to you to define what your destiny will look like. I'd like you to know that life is too short to experiment with. So you may not have another opportunity to come again to this same class if you do not have a carryover or you are asked to retain. Now, there are many of our elders who wish they were where you are seated today. Many of them realized most of the mistakes they made when there was no opportunity to make amendments again. Now, you either take it seriously and make the most of it, or you waste it away. Please take note of this. There is nothing like Yaba. There is nothing like Babatunde. It's just a feeling. Apologies to those who bear that day. But there's nothing like somebody came back again to the world. For it is appointed unto man once to die. After death is judgment. So you either take advantage of what God has given to you, or you waste it away. Now, I know we are wiser than that. So I know we won't waste it away. Now, many of us are here on community contributions to come to school. Yes, Daddy. Many of our parents, they took money, they put money by their wrapper just to be able to have enough savings As the money is coming in, they are putting it together just to give you the best of life. Please don't make them regret what they have given to you. I have the privilege of also, I've been passing through a few schools around, and I knew that the only option I have was to succeed and nothing else. So for me, if you ask me what success means success or nothing except success. There was nothing like the opposite of successful, which was failure. I mean, at the time I was a conductor in Lagos, at the time I was a fog organizer in Lagos, I take people on private tutorials. But one thing was paramount for me. I know I will finish well if only I am not distracted. I heard Grant Tracy saying something. He said that the opposite of succeeding on an assignment is distraction. So opposite of success is distraction. So you either get focused and make the best out of it, or you miss out. While I was having my first degree in Ogun State University, I didn't have so much luxury. So the only thing I had was just to make sure I do business in school. So the money I made from it, from other fellow students, I will save so I will be able to pay my school fees. So now, getting to school, it's a full-time program. So there was not much time for me. So I shuttled 2 days on my business and 3 days in the classes. But yet, God still helped me to finish well. When it's about time for my exams, I take time off. I lock up my shop or I put somebody there and I face it squarely to read and study for my exams. But I tell you, even though I didn't finish with a first class, but by His grace, I live a first class life today. So because there is a difference between finishing with a first class and another one living a first class life. There are many who finish with a pass, but they live a first class life. So it is not a function of the school you went to, but what you make do in that school you went to. So please, I beg of you, God will be unveiling to you diverse ideas as you are in school that you can take advantage of and put to work so that you will end up employing your colleagues. It's a goal that you can set. You can set a goal to, as you are in school, not when you are done from school, because knowledge acquisition is continuous. You will keep learning from time to time. So while you are in school, look at the need of your colleagues, your contemporaries. What are those needs? You know something? It's not about your face or where you came up from. Light. Everybody enjoys light, irrespective of the religion, of the race, of whatever environment they find themselves from. Everybody wants light. And it is only the person who carries such light that leads in darkness. So if you have what others need, they will follow you. That's it. My privilege, when I was in the university, my first degree days, one thing I saw was that telecommunication was new. And many of my fellow students didn't have the opportunity of owning an handset. So that posed an opportunity for me to make money off them. So the network was so poor around there. So one thing I could do that God gave me the opportunity to do was, how do I provide service for these people? Yes, they are my fellow students, but there is something that I can give to them that will make them pay me without begging them. By the way, to raise my first school fees, I had to help students, fellow students, to complete their admission process, registration process at the point when they were registering. So I could charge them 200 naira. It was from that 200 naira I was able to gather the balance of my school fees plus the one my mother gave me from home. Now, is it me that I will not forget where I came from? It's too late. I can tell you, you can make the most of your life from the school. You can be the best you can ever be from the school. It's the same school that you can meet with your life partners, as one of our great lecturers told us here. That's where I met my wife, by the way. And that's where my life today. There's so much to offer. You know something? The disadvantage of shooting the opportunities is, if you say you are done with your HND2 and you decide because you felt you wasted the time and you want to come back to school again or to class again, if you don't know, many of your colleagues in class will be running away from you because you are too old. Yeah, that's the truth. When you become too old and you come back to school in the class, there is a way the young people begins to run away from you. Grandma, when I was in my first master's, there was a class in Lautech, and one of the students, a very senior person, the lecturer was teaching Adeniyi, and the Baba raised up his hand. The lecturer didn't ask the question. Baba raised up his hand. He said, Baba, what is it? He said, 6 children. The lecturer said, Baba, don't kill yourself. You are thinking too much. There are 6 children. How will you not have it? The man had left the class, literally, and was thinking about the 6 children. The 6 children. There is an opportunity for you while you are still young. Take advantage of it. Now, I quickly want to, many of the things I will have spoken about professionally have been handled by my senior, my boy in the industry who took first. And I'll just pick 1 or 2 things from my slide. And I'd like you to know that there are a lot of opportunities in this industry. Now, the question is, what do you see when others are seeing problems? Do you see opportunity? Now, let me tell you something. The government of the day is doing so well in quotes. And that gives us an opportunity to see so many great things in the pipeline that we can take advantage of. Now, if each one of us we go into full practice of real estate and provide at least 1,000 housing units in Lagos alone, I tell you, we may still have housing deficits. Let me tell you something. God opened my eyes to see many opportunities, and one of it is this. He said, do you know that there are many components that makes up a building? I said, yes, sir. He said, do you know that all you just need to do is to have a niche for yourself and be a major in that niche, that when they think about that thing, it is your name that comes to mind. All right. So I began to ask, what are those niches? Do you know that people can know you for selling only dogs alone? Is a niche. Do you know that people can know you for selling only POP materials alone? Is a niche. Do you know that people can know you for selling nails, different types of nails for building? Is a niche. Are you aware that there are people who, when you get to their stores, as many, as big as they are, they only sell tiles? There are others that specializes in doing building supplies in terms of, that is the sand, the granite, the chippings, or whatever you think in mind. You can pick a niche for yourself. Are you aware that another component in the real estate space is freelancing? That is, you want to say, all I want to do is to be selling products for different organizations. You make your money from it. Now, I can tell you, one of the wealthiest places of making money in the real estate space is to freelance. You can sell for as many companies as possible. That's using your social capital, using the networks that you have. Now, but in doing that, there is a need for you to build that social capital space. And it can only be done on the platform of trust. When I was in the university, I remembered how one of my fellow students came one day and said, "Sir, my parents give us money from South Africa, me that they contributed money for." Somebody now came who was also a student from South Africa, and they said, "My parents gave me money from South Africa, but I saw that I was just leaving the money in the bank, and it was not having much interest. So I just thought within myself that maybe I should give you that money. You can add it to your capital, use it to do business. When I need it, I'll tell you." I said, "God bless you." I was so happy. It was a good money at that time. So I put the money into buying some more recharge cards for my business. I used some parts to going from phone call businesses and recharge card sales, went into business center, started making photocopy and helping some other students to type their project and assignments. So as I diversified a little into it, when I told him, I said, "If you need the money, give me at least 31 days notice." So he gave me the notice. When it was going to come, as he was going to collect the money, I gave him about 20% increase on the money. He said, "So you are here all this while, and my money has been wasting from the bank. Let me go and call all my siblings. They are coming to put money with you." That's why I went to call all the siblings. All of them came to drop money with me. Now, before I knew it, they started telling themselves in their classes. People started coming to drop money with me. It got to a point I told everyone, I said, "I don't need your money again." Just to make sure I don't run into trouble. Because I could only make do of the one my capacity would handle at that time. But by His grace, the business grew to a point where I had over 50 direct and indirect staffs who were fellow students, who were working for me. I went to that school with some clothes in my bag, left school with trucks. I was on my 5th car when I was leaving school. Legitimately. I have come to tell you that you must not allow the giants in you to sleep. There is something inside of you that is crying for expression, whether you are ND1 or HND1. Whether you are in your final year, HND2, or you are in ND2, or you find yourself here, there is something inside of you that people are craving for. If only you will unleash it, you have entered wealth. Now, that is how to build social capital from little things. Make sure when you give them your word, make sure that they meet it that way. You don't need to converse to anyone. It is one person that tells the other person. As you are in school, begin to look for opportunities. Please don't forget your primary assignments. You came to school to learn. Before I knew it, my lecturers became my customers. So in the same vein, your lecturers also can become your customers. But of course, it is value for value. You are given a value, and everybody will love someone who is giving them value. So it's about value. By the time it was time for my youth service, I tell you, when I got to the place of youth service, some of the people I met in the organizations, some of them were my customers. Some of them were my church members who were just testifying about what God has done through me in the school before the MD of the company. So by the time I was meeting with the MD, he said, "Don't tell me anything about yourself again. I already know you. People you met here have already said things about you. I need you to use that skill that you've acquired in doing your business to come and set up the departments." That was how God began to turn my life around. But it all started from the school. The same school you are in now. The same school, people are doing prayer and fasting just to be opportune to be or to be admitted. Don't blow the chances away. Now, it will amaze you to know that the greatest decision I made in my life that I've never regretted is to have met Jesus also in school. I tell you, a life without Christ will be full of crises. The best thing that ever happened to me is to have met Christ. When I was in school, I heard about how to pay tithes as a Christian. And I began to do it. And I tell you something. Before I left school, I made my first millions. Millions. Before I left school. So one thing, my studies, I took it seriously because I knew what I've been through. Two, was opportunity that I found to make money out of my fellow students. But one thing that was first was not to make money from them, but to give them value. And in turn, money will come. Another thing was to be serious with God. Whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian, get serious with God. Don't change your name because you got admission into the university or the institution. Some people, they know them as Monica or they call them Emmanuel at home. They go to school over their school. There are pastors' children and imams' children in school that you can never recognize again. They use concealer to conceal their tribal mark. They change everything when they go to school. Have you forgotten that what you have is time bound? Before you close your eye and open it, you are graduating. That's if you graduate. But as for you, you graduate in Jesus' name. Yeah. But take note, no matter how much hands are laid on you, any faith that is absolutely dependent on God is an irresponsible faith. You have a part to play. God has given you the opportunity. What do you want to do with this? He won't do it for you. You don't go into the exam hall and drop your pen on the paper and say that, oh yeah, if it's a wali that prayed or the father prayed to the pen for you, if you don't read 0 times 0, that's the truth. You still have to read something. He said, whatsoever your hand findeth to do, do it with all your heart. And whatever you lay your hands on, it will prosper it. So if you didn't lay hands on nothing, you prosper nothing. If you lay hands on something, you prosper something. Before I left school, by His grace, I started sending money to my parents. My mother only. I lost my father at a younger age. Maybe that was what propelled me. That I must not go back to this polygamous family home again. I want to go to my own place. As a student, while I was searching for God, I heard God spoke to me through the word. That was when I knew that God will not only build for me a house, He will build for me houses as a student. And He did it. And He has done many. And today He has done estates. Not an estate, estates. I'm not here to entertain you, but I'd like to know there's nothing you want to hear from me professionally that my senior colleague have not spoken about. But I can tell you something, that even some of your colleagues will be proud of you if only you will make the most of this time that you have. Please take notes. Opportunities exist everywhere in organizations. You can approach my leader, my senior colleague that spoke earlier, the first speaker, that what are the ways I can serve for free in your organization? Yes, you can move from free to fee. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Some of them, they'll be willing if they see. I got your point, man. Many people, especially the generation of today, it is money first. We may not meet again, but give me the money first. They are, many of them are the issue generation. Let me just eat and die. Please don't allow that to be yours. Let me tell you something. Where I did that my youth service, where God turned my life around, my salary was 15,000 naira that year. Somebody who had made millions Now to now come down to say, I want to do youth service in this organization. But I will tell you the secret. I sought the face of God. I said, Lord, where will my service be needed? And he told me to go to that organization. So he arranged somebody who introduced me there. Now, I cost millions. Now they want to give me 15,000 naira per month. It takes humility to be great in life. That's the truth. 15K. Now, I got married as a couple, so you should know that the 15K cannot do anything. But little is much when God is in it. So I left everything and I focused on my assignment, which is to learn the art of real estate. I must tell you something some of you may not know. If you read my profile, you can never see that maybe I went to do anything real estate related. It is just some few years back that I started taking courses on real estate. I went to learn the heart of real estate for 5 years and 3 months as an apprentice. Something is missing in this generation. There is a very proud and arrogant generation where people want to make daily money without thinking about the future. Everybody wants to drive bike because they make money every day. Everybody wants to drive marijuana because they make money every day. Who are those who wants to learn the skill behind the business? Is your work, when certificate fails you, your hard work cannot fail you. No matter how many degrees you have, like a thermometer, I tell you, the things you learn. So I went to learn real estate. I was taught how to acquire. I was taught how to talk to landowners. I was taught how to pieces the land into piecemeal for the end users. I was taught how to name an estate, how to package it into brochures or flyers. I was taught how to give it to the end users. I was taught how to read a survey, how to read architectural drawing, structural drawing, electrical drawing, mechanical drawings. Those were my core. Because it doesn't matter how far you have gone on a long journey, it's never too late to make a U-turn. I never planned real estate, but God said that's where I need you. I was so fulfilled one day in a store in the United States that somebody walked up to me and said, "Sir, you are one of my mentors in the real estate space. You have inspired me so much. We see you here in the US. It gives me fulfillment. It has nothing to do with money." What am I saying? Please chart a course for yourself. God has brought you here. Maybe it was the last course that was available and they gave you. But I want you to know that it is not an accident. It is ordained by God to be so. You can climb the ladder of greatness by mistake. But even if you do by mistake, you can maximize the opportunity so that you don't fall by accident. I beg of you, I want to see you in the next 2 years, or you see me and say, "I remember what you told me that day." Make the most of your life. Look for ways to give value. Look for other organizations that may not be represented here as I'm talking, that you can give your time and all that you have to. That you can give your time and all that you have to, just to ensure that you give true value. Don't be ashamed to learn. Thank you very much. Even if you don't give me mine, I don't swallow mine. It was in school that I learned. I part of serving God. I joined the Yoruba translation unit. So I interpret from English to Yoruba. So there are days there will be no light in church, and you have to interpret. So over 3,000 people, they must still hear you. So Michael no mind, but his son was okay. I hope I have made a point. This is not a church gathering or a mosque gathering. But I can tell you, if you take God away from your equation in this school, you will end up as nothing. If you write the word grace, Grace, by the time you remove the G is capital. When you move it from the remaining word, what is left? Grace. Somebody can run a race without getting to the end of the race. Because you can run a race on a treadmill and not make motion. That is what happens when you remove God from your race in life. So please make the most of your life and destiny. Your lecturers, see them as your father and your mother. Don't look down on any of them because God is the one who found them. He chose them. Where were you when God found them? God said, I found David, my servant. It is God that finds. So he found them, and so he placed them over you. When they give you instructions, they are giving you because they have seen ahead. When they teach you and you don't understand, feel free to approach them. They are fathers and mothers, like many of our parents. They are the parent that God has placed over you at this time. I can tell you, you can build up that relationship to that point where they will never forget you. It will amaze you to know that some of my secondary school lecturers or teachers in secondary school, I'm still in touch with some of them till date. Not just in touch with them, I am qualitatively in touch with them. Those who impacted my life, I do little to also give back to them. So, but it has to do with what you are given first. When I say what you are given, what kind of child are you? The few minutes I have, maybe I can see one or two things before you please just tell me to stop when it is time. So that you can invite me again. So I'd like you to know that there are areas of specialization in the real estate space. We look at the place of valuation and appraisal. That might be your own call. That when you mention a certain name, everybody already knows what the person stands for. Please, I must try to balance things at this point. If you don't know where you are going, everywhere may look like it. So, I want to beg of you to tell yourself that when they see my face, this is something that must come to their mind. For instance, I love this illustration. When you see a nickel obese picture, what comes to your mind? Okay. When you see Messi, what comes to mind? Okay. When you see Okocha, what comes to mind? Even though he didn't play in some of you's generation, but you still remember, or somebody told you that it was football. So don't assume everybody knew Okocha. I mean, those Okocha, yes. Yeah. Now, when you see, give me a name. Okay, let's say Bryant. What comes to mind? Basketball. So, can you give me the name of a sprinter? Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt, right? What comes to mind? So now, when your picture pops up, what will people say about you? I repeat again. When your picture pops up, what will they say? Who are you when your picture comes up? Now, please don't confuse your audiences, your followers. Stand for something. When they know you for something tangible, you can begin to grow branches. But one thing first. Even Jesus, when he came, he said, for this one single cause was I sent. One cause. To destroy the works of the devil. One cause. So, my own cause is real estate. It was when God began to give me that recognition before the people that I began to diversify into other areas of business. But one thing first. So, you can be known for valuation or appraisal. You can also be known for property or facility management. There is so much in facility management that you can take advantage of. So much facility management. That is, the management can move from managing a small unit of facility or a building to an high-rise. By the grace of God, I have the privilege of being a board member in a facility management company that manages for GT Bank, Shell, Chevron. And I can tell you upon presentation of the annual reports, I know what comes in when it comes to management of facilities. So if that is your call, pick a book on facility management apart from your school books and begin to read further than those that are teaching you. There are lots of journals online. There are lots of courses you can take online. Once you know where you are going, it's easier for you to pay attention on getting materials as it relates to those areas. There is somebody who has gone on the journey you are about to embark on now. That's the place of mentorship. Any of your lecturers that you see that this man, this woman is looking like somebody who has been through the journey I just started, identify with them. They can be a mentor to you. One of a woman who never taught me, but that was very good to us when we were in school. Now she was a deputy vice chancellor of Ogun State University, and now she's doing so much for different institutions. We are still very, very close now because some of the doctorates and whatever degrees that I so desire to have, she's had them. So it's always a delight asking her, how did you do it, man? Even as a mother. And yet, you will still achieve all these feats. The place of mentorship. Now, brokerage, leasing, sales. Don't give me paper 5 minutes at least. Amen. Thank you. God bless you. So, leasing, sales, renting, arbitration. You can make money from them. But honestly, for me, I don't like renting. Because there are different types of them. but it's always good that God gives you the house and you push it to people who are skillful in doing renting. If your niche is renting, you devise a means of collecting your rent. But in this Lagos, I don't want to say too much on renting. Even the law for renting favors even the tenant than the house owner. So there's so much about it. But if you don't learn it, you won't know it. Don't go and enter a niche that will box you or that will make you to make money. By His grace, one of the things that God has used in the company is sales. Sales. I do sales. Now, let me tell you, if you want to become an asset in this industry, go and learn how to sell. I tell you, if you can sell, you'll be very relevant everywhere you go in this industry. Learn how to sell. Yes, you are doing what do you call it now? Facility management or leasing or whatever. But I tell you, learn how to sell. It will make you very relevant. Learn how to sell. Sell what? Sales of property. Sell property. See, Imagine you selling a property. We have a property at the moment in the Kenya GRA selling for 120 million now, and you get 5% of 120 million. 10% is 12 million. 5% is 6 million. 6 million, and you are in HND1 or you are in ND1. The only challenge I have is that I don't know if you still retain your name. If 6 million enter your account, even you don't trust yourself, you don't even trust yourself. That 6 million will enter your account. You know there's a difference between about and allowed. There are some things that enter that crash your phone screen. That is good money. Now, if you can acquire the skill as a student now of how to sell, there are schools in sales, there are mentors in the area of sales. If you will learn it, I tell you, you will continually be relevant. By His grace, with every sense of humility, God has helped me to broker deals, put together in my over some few years, over a decade of the real estate, over 13 years of real estate experience. I've brokered not less than $1 million deal. Not less than $1 million. Oh, yeah, calculate just 5% of $1 million. So, no matter any other area you go into, the truth is this: you must still learn how to sell. When you go into a real estate company, 10 out of every 12 people they are looking for are salespeople. And the truth is this: you will always be relevant if you can sell your way through to the top. Because of my time, I like to take a bow and believe that I've not confused you, but I've been able to convince you that with God on your side, with hard work, with smart work, and with finding the right mentors, that you can leave the school without shame or regrets, but be at the top. See you at the top.